Welcome back to the Gear Bunker. Today we're going to talk about a product from a company that is near and dear to us, and that's Midland Radio. We've been using Midland Radio micromobiles and handhelds for the last 3 or 4 years in our overland adventures. I've got an MXT500 in my Toyota Tundra, which I've previously reviewed, and I have an MXT400, which is the 40-watt unit, mounted in our Gear Bunker FJ Cruiser. But 40 watts is 10 shy of the max allowable by law. 50 watts is the max, and Midland Radio just pumped out the MXT500. It is currently available on the Midland website. This is a full 50-watt micromobile, and this is one of the first units. So I'm going to open it up and see what's inside. All right, everything comes out in a nice little carton like this. We've got the manual, a sticker, and a quick start guide. The handheld microphone with a new connector. Usually they use some type of, looks like a telephone connector. That's what I have on my MXT400, but this is a new screw-on. Looks to be weather tight, weather resistant mic plug. We also have a new power cord, which actually has a new weatherproof fitting as well. So I can see a theme here. Since it's IP66 rated, obviously they are working on making this more weatherproof for something like a Jeep or something with an open cockpit. Got an adhesive backed mic holder. Yep, so we've got a rubberized magnetic base for your roof with plenty of antenna cord, as well as an adhesive option if you want to stick this to something and then put the magnetic base right to that piece of metal. This is the radio bracket that's going to mount in the car and then have the radio mount through these side holes. It looks to be the same as the MXT400, so hopefully when I pull the MXT400 out, I can actually just leave this, the one I have in the vehicle, in there and slide the new MXT500 in there. Got a tiny little antenna that comes with it. Midland has quite a few different antenna options on their website. So here's this one that's going to screw on there, as well as the mounting hardware for the bracket itself. And then finally, the MXT500 itself. It definitely is a little bit thicker than the MXT400. It's quite a bit larger than all of the MXT 115 and 275s because of the massive heatsink that it's going to take to keep this 50-watt beast cool. On the back, you've got the antenna mount, an intercom mount, and an external speaker plug if you're going to use an external speaker, and the pigtail for the power cord. Some of the updated features of the MXT500 are 15 GMRS simplex channels, 8 GMRS repeater channels with 142 privacy codes, the full 50-watt output power, has NOAA radio. There actually is a weather button right on there, so you can just bypass and get right to weather updates in your local area. The LCD display right here is backlit, and it actually has 6 brightness levels and 7 color options to match whatever type of vehicle you're putting in, which is kind of a nice feature. You can select the power between high, medium, and low for each channel. You also have narrowband and wideband selectability, channel scan, scan skip, silent operation. There's even a call function. Another thing I noticed that's different than the MXT400 is actually this volume knob right here is also a push button, on-off button, whereas before I think there was a button up here that I had to push to power the MXT400 on. So quite a few less buttons than the MXT400. So obviously, once I get this thing hooked up and figure out how to get through and navigate all the various menus and get this set up, I'll give you guys a heads up. Here's the new plug-in for the hand mic. It just has an oriented, well, how many pins is that? 2, 4, 6, 8. It has an 8-pin oriented plug with about a half turn to get that thing locked in there. And that's pretty much it. Most of the menu items are going to be through this roll knob with selectability. On the bottom here, there's a lock button, the weather button that I previously mentioned, a monitor button, a scan button, and the menu button to start scrolling through all the different menu options. One new thing I noticed here on the front is a USB-C high-speed charger. So I have this mounted on the passenger side of my center console. I know it's kind of hard to see in there, but having this high-speed USB output would be nice for my passenger's phone or even like a Garmin InReach to keep those charged. So I will take out the old, put in the new, get this thing dialed in and see what it's all about. But be sure to look at our partners page. We have a 10% off discount code for Midland Radio. Be sure to check that out on our website, the partners page, and get yourself a new Midland MXT500 and update the old radio that you had. This is the most powerful allowable by law, and it retails for $399. So be sure to check it out. And stay tuned for an updated review of this radio once I get it in. As I'm looking at the packaging of the new Midland radio, I noticed something. A little graphic here with the mountains, and there's a little vehicle here. Turns out it's an FJ Cruiser, and quite frankly, it looks a lot like ours. So how cool is that? I'll have to ask them if they actually model it after ours. Probably a coincidence.